All right, good morning. This is the money supply, also what's called the money market. Anytime you have a market for something, remember that's, buying and selling, supply and demand. So we're going to have our normal graph, or our L shape, and the difference with money supply is the money supply is the money that is literally printed by the Federal Reserve or created with multiple deposit expansion and things we've already done. So monetary policy is going to be stuff that's done by the Federal Reserve Bank. So the money supply is going to be vertical. And you'll be asked, why is it vertical? Well, it's vertical because you and I can't go print money. We're not allowed to. That would be a crime. The Secret Service would arrest us for counterfeit. So the reason this line is vertical, and you'll see it as a multiple choice question, some point, I'll say the money supply is a monopoly or it's vertical because, and the answer is always that the Federal Reserve Bank is in charge of the money supply. So we're going to have our money supply, it's always vertical, okay? And then on the money supply graph, you're going to have the nominal interest rate, which is a lowercase I in percent. So the nominal interest rate is, if you go take out a loan, it's the amount of interest that's charged or written, okay? It's not adjusted for inflation, which remember is the real interest rate. And that we'll get to that on the loanable funds market when we look at actual loans. Okay, so the nominal interest rate we're going to look at. Basically, remember the price of something will change with people wanting it or too much or too little of it being produced. So money demand is a downward slope, just like aggregate demand or any of the other demand things we have to show that inverse relationship. So when we have our quantity of money, and you can label this however you're told to in the graphs. Okay, where they cross right here is how much money is wanted, and there's two things it's wanted for: assets and transactions. Okay, transactions. Think about that. If you need money, Black Friday is coming up. You need to go to the ATM, right? So you're going to demand money. Assets. This is financial. Okay, so all of a sudden, if interest rates look good in a savings account or in a bond or something like that, you're going to demand money, go cash your paycheck, take that money, and go buy a bond, put it into a financial asset. So something that attracts you to a financial asset is going to make you want to demand money, like get your actual cash and go purchase it. Same thing with the ATM and transactions. So these two types of demands are for money, why people need it and what they're going to use it for. Okay. Now, where that demand meets how much money is in circulation. So say, the United States GDP is $20 trillion. We only circulate like $12 trillion in currency, okay? Because we have electronic currency, basically debit cards. And you learn that all that money is not really in your account, okay? So we have a certain level of interest rates where money is supplied and money is demanded. The only thing that affects the money supply is going to be money creation, printing money, things done by the Federal Reserve Bank. Now, money demand can change if transactions or assets are needed to be purchased. Okay? All right, so that's the money supply of the money market. Now, let's look at what happens if we actually were to shift this. Okay, so say we have a money demand increase. We'd have a vertical money supply, money demand, our nominal interest rate. That's a terrible S. Okay, and our quantity of money, and then our money itself. So if this is going to increase, so say all of a sudden money demand increases, do you think that's going to be good or bad for the economy? Well, people don't like high interest rates. So let's say money demand increases. That means I'm going to shift this, what looks like up, well, we'll still call it to the right, and we would have a money demand increase. Okay, so now look where it crosses right here. Where it crosses right there, see, I forgot to add that label. So now all of a sudden, money demand has caused the nominal interest rate to increase. So if the interest rate goes up, what's going to happen to gross private investment? It's going to go down because don't borrow money at high interest rates. That's not good business, okay? That's not a good investment. So investment's going to go down. Remember, investment is where K is for capital, and capital is your capital goods, tools, machines, things like that. They're going to improve your business, buy a new truck for your delivery service, stuff like that. So investment's going to decrease, okay? So and then capital would decrease. So high interest rates, not real good for the economy. Now, let's look at the opposite. Money supply, money demand. Now all of a sudden, money demand decreases. People don't need as much money. Who knows why? What happens? I'm drawn in this in green because guess what? As we have a lower interest rate, what's investment going to do? So now I have a decrease. So money demand decreases, normal interest rate. Remember, when people don't want stuff, it gets cheaper, right? So the price of borrowing money is going to be the nominal interest rate. So interest rates are going to decrease, investment will turn around and go up because people are more likely to borrow or be incentivized to make an investment, to purchase capital. All right, so through the rest of this lesson, you're going to be looking at changes to the money supply itself, increases, decreases, then you're going to have some practice FRQs. I'm going to give you the basics and then just jump right into it. So work along with the FRQs, and you're going to turn those in. All right.